And I'd like to share something with you that's coming off of the Hill, and it is called Juul boosts lobbying amid FDA scrutiny. It was on October 10th, 2018 by Nathan Wexel. Yes. Just want to read a little bit of this to you. It says e-cigarette maker Juul is ramping up its Washington lobbying operation as it tries to head off potential regulatory threats from the Trump administration and Congress. The company has been under scrutiny from the Food and Drug Administration, regulators, and lawmakers from both parties amid a massive surge in popularity for its products among teens. I have to go through too much of this, I think we know. Oh, sorry about that. In late September, the FDA conducted a surprise inspection of Juul's corporate headquarters and collected more than 1,000 pages of documents. As an extreme side note, I'm not going to do a make a right on him, but Grim Green gave me a complete, utter headache. That's why I unsubscribed from him I don't know, a few months ago. He's trying to make it appear that everything is just working fine between Juul and the FDA and CTP, that there was not a raid. Even Tom H., who is a lawyer, explained very clearly that a raid equals an unannounced visit. Period. That's what a raid is. They raided them. I mean, they probably didn't kick in the door and all that, though they could have, but they didn't. They probably knocked on the door. They answered it. The FDA showed their credentials, and they walked in. No questions asked. No ifs, ands, buts about it. The person that answered the door couldn't say, oh, by the way, let me talk to my supervisor. No. Opened the door, and they walked right in. There's no one to talk to, no nothing. FDA had a mission. They went in to get over 1,000 pages of documents, probably a lot of internal memos, and then walked out. There were no meetings like Juul's making it appear. They didn't make it appear like, well, Juul's making it appear like everything was just fine and dandy. No. There's a raid. Period. It's an unannounced visit. Unannounced inspection, whatever you want to call it, was unannounced. Regardless of Juul's CEO Burns, B-U-R-N-S, was in the building or not, didn't matter. The FDA has the power to go into their particular headquarters in San Francisco and confiscate anything they, well, as the English would say, anything they bloody well please. I mean, they could have taken their computers, their hardware. Yeah. They could have went into the laboratories, if they have laboratories in there, I'm sure they do, and confiscate samples or whatever they wanted. They could take anything. Anything. You didn't see Juul say, well, let me call my attorney and see if you have a warrant. No, this is the power of the FDA. They have enabling powers. They not only make law or regulation, but they can enforce it as well. So to have a Juul make it appear like, hey, everything was fine and dandy, was not a raid, bullcrap. And I'm not going to do a make it right on Grim Green, though he deserves it for those last 2 videos he did with the 510 report or whatever the heck he's doing. But no, yes, it was a raid. And by the way, Grim Green, it's not Gottlieb. It's Gottlieb. You don't even pronounce it. How can you even talk about the FDA when you can't even pronounce the FDA commissioner's last name? It's not Scott Gottlieb. It's Scott Gottlieb. Anyway. So it says Gottlieb also announced a possible ban on flavored e-cigarettes if 5 of the largest, and by the way, also green, it's not 6, it's 5. If 5 of the largest manufacturers can't come up with adequate plans to help keep e-cigarettes out of the hands of those under the age of 18. Now, here they are, and I'm going to show you in a moment. They're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to lobby lawmakers in Washington, D.C. Does it sound like Juul is working with the FDA? No. They're trying to find loopholes and trying to figure out ways to get around it, to soften the blow. I'm telling you, Juul is too big for their britches. They're like our arch enemy, and we don't even realize it. They are a serious issue. Serious. We got a serious problem. So amid this scrutiny, Juul has beefed up its Washington, D.C. office and hired several former high-profile federal officials and regulators from both the Trump and Obama administrations. Last week, Juul brought in Josh Raffel, a former senior communications aide and crisis communications expert who has worked closely with White House senior advisors Ivanka, I can't even pronounce that, Trump and Jared Kushner. I think they're divorced or something, or they have some kind of marital problems, but well, so what? I guess that doesn't matter now. President Trump's daughter and son-in-law. The company boasts other well-connected former officials. TV or whatever. Troy, Juul's top policy executive, was Deputy Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services in the George W. Bush administration. They didn't even have the Tobacco Control Act back in those days. Jerry Masudi, or whatever, a former chief counsel for the FDA under Bush, was hired as Juul chief legal officer this spring, and Jim S. whatever, an assistant HH secretary during the Obama administration, was hired for their internal lobbying team. These people were hired, a little while ago, and they still wound up with 5 letters, given out, and Juul was the recipient of one of the letters. And not only that, top it all off, and I'm sure they're getting paid, $500,000 a year, each of these people. And I tell you, it didn't stop the FDA rating Juul. The company has also been meeting with lawmakers in an attempt to show their commitment to stopping the rise of youth vaping and I'm tripping up words here, and forestall any potential legislation against them. As far as legislation, no. I don't think there'll be any legislation against Juul. No, the FDA is going to take them out. The company insists the timing of the new hires is just a coincidence. Maybe not. Someone hired in spring. I'm sure it has a little bit to do with it, but it doesn't matter. They're going to lose. They're just spending their money for nothing. Juul has also been ramping up its spending. According to lobbying records, the company has hired 3 lobbying firms and spent $330,000 so far in 2018, compared to $120,000 on 2 firms in 2017. And they're a $15 billion company. They should take $1 billion and invest. $330,000 is like 7 cents to you and I. These moves come with the company and industry facing much tougher scrutiny from Washington, and as Juul has solidified its place as a dominant player in the e-cigarette market. Everything else pretty much know about. And you got, of course, Dick Durbin and Lisa Murkowski. They have that, what is it? I can't remember. It's, let me pause, find the right number. So they have a bill, 3319, I believe it's. You're gonna let me just look at this, make sure I have it right. Yeah, Senate Bill 3319 3319, which is going, if the FDA, whatever flavors they ban, if they don't ban all the flavors, then this particular bill that they have sitting in Congress right now will ban all the other flavors that's on the market. That's as far as Murkowski and Durbin's concerned. They're the ones that you got to worry about. Not that any of it will fly in Congress, but who knows? It's a lot different now. I mean, before we had things going, nothing ever accomplished in Congress, but we had some things in the works for us in Congress, and now we have nothing in Congress for us as vapors, whereas they have this bill in Congress against vaping. So that shows you where we're at as well. So that's pretty much it there. But I just want to share you. Here's Juul receives a letter from the FDA to correct the situation, or at least try their very best to correct it. And what do? All they could do is figure out a way to lobby to put enough pressure on the FDA so they'll change their ways. So the FDA will change their ways. If that doesn't tell you what's going on, I don't know what will. I mean, they certainly have the right to do this. Don't get me wrong, okay, or the privilege. Really, it's not so much a right. Well, maybe, well, to a degree, they have a right, but mainly part of a privilege. They have that as a privilege, but nevertheless, it's they should just suck it up and figure out how to make sure these particular companies are selling to underagers. To put a stop to that, they have the power to do that, and they also have power to put some kind of age verification process in place for all, like when Juul distributes it to whoever or sells their products to distributors and then to wholesalers and then to retailers. They have to have some kind of age verification, like a recipient at the door over the age of 18 in place before the customer receives the product. Something like that. There's got to be a better way. Not Juul, once again, is coming at the FDA with this whole lobbying campaign when they should be trying to work with the FDA. They're going to lose. I'm telling you, they're going to lose either way. When those numbers come out in November of 2018, they are going to be extraordinary. The FDA is very quiet right now. And when that does hit, it's going to send a serious shudder through the entire vaping industry. You think some FDA warning letters going out in the last several months is a biggie? You think Juul receiving some letters in the mail is a biggie? You think 1,300 letters to vape shops / convenience stores, gas stations is a biggie? Whatever's coming out November 2018 is going to be huge, huge, and thereafter. I mean, the way Scott Gottlieb stated it was on September 12th, 2018, in his FDA statement on the FDA website. That will be just the beginning. It's not like it's just up November 2018. That's it. No. And then other things are going to happen thereafter. And then you have your small manufacturers that have to submit their ingredient listings in regards to e-liquids by November 8th of 2018. That's all these little e-liquid companies around the USA. They have to submit their e-liquids. It's going to get bad, guys. Real bad. And I expect 2 thumbs down from those 2 individuals that always give me 2 thumbs down. Even though they didn't even watch the video, they still give me 2 thumbs down, but it's okay. That's the way. That's their style of doing things. Yes, they always say, well, you're too negative. No, I'm too real for you is the problem here. I've been talking like this for over 2 years And I'm telling you, this is very serious situation. And it's only going to get worse. Anyway, guys, try to have a good one. Bye-bye.